Welcome. I am Collins Trott, Child Development Faculty on the Wallace Community College, Dothan campus. In this episode, we are going to be learning about intellectual development of toddlers. Toddlers are eager to learn and curious about everyone and everything. When learning about and working at a task they choose, toddlers stay with the task until they are satisfied with the results. Because toddlers have their own agenda, they may not always be interested in learning what adults want them to learn. During the toddler years, children truly begin to understand their environment. They remain holistic learners. Toddlers younger than 2 years of age learn about objects and what happens when they manipulate these objects. They must meet their goals through physical trial and error. Because older toddlers learn to think before acting, they plan new ways to achieve goals. Toddlers also become able communicators as they learn new words and speak in short sentences. So join me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about intellectual development of toddlers. During the toddler years, brain wiring is dense, making the toddler's brain ripe for learning. After the toddler years, the brain will begin pruning seldom used or unused connections. Toddlers develop mental imagery, which encourages pretend play. The toddler's brain continues to develop in the sensory and motor areas. Toddlers can make fine sensory discriminations, such as seeing various shades of a given color or hearing small differences in sounds. These sensory discriminations lead to rather accurate perceptual concepts, but not to logical understandings. Furthermore, gross and fine motor skills are becoming very coordinated, and motor activities, such as assembling take-apart objects, will enhance learning. Brain development in toddlerhood allows for the great intellectual advance called mental imagery. Mental imagery will eventually lead to abstract thinking and creativity. Toddlers begin to impose their mental ideas on objects as seen in pretend play. Soon a block is not just for stacking, but can also be a chair or a shaker for a spice. Development in the language and memory areas of the brain aids toddlers' thinking. The language of their world can aid toddlers in development. Brain development leads to many windows of opportunity for toddlers. On the other hand, toddlerhood is a period of vulnerability if environmental conditions are not optimal. Optimal conditions include nutrition adequate to support the fast-growing brain, general physical health, a rich play environment surrounded by quality language exposure, and an emotionally supportive, stress-free world. Piaget uses stages to describe children's cognitive development. In the first stage, called the sensory motor stage, children from birth to 2 years of age learn through their senses and motor actions. During infancy, babies work through the first 4 substages. During the toddler years, Piaget believed children complete the last 2 substages. In substage 5, called tertiary circular reactions, younger toddlers around 12 to 18 months of age learn by discovering new ways to solve problems through physical trial and error. In substage 6, called mental imagery or representation, older toddlers around 18 to 24 months of age begin to think about how to problem solve without using physical actions. By the end of the toddler years, a few children may enter Piaget's second stage of cognitive development, called the pre-operational stage. Vygotsky felt teaching children is a basic socio-culture activity. He believed in most cultures, anyone guiding a child in the learning process should scaffold within the child's zone of proximal development. Scaffolding strategies used in teaching children are also affected by the culture and social environment in which a child is reared. Some families prefer to use direct methods of instruction to support children's learning. Others prefer less hands-on methods. What is taught to children involves cultural values of families too. During the toddler years, concepts become more complex and abstract, as seen through pretense and language. These concepts pave the way for what toddlers learn. Younger toddlers, about 12 to 18 months of age, work towards a goal, imitate others, and develop their understanding of object permanence. As ways of thinking about objects and people in their environment, mature, older toddlers, about 18 to 36 months of age, further their comprehension of physics and the world around them. They learn to identify details of objects and solve problems. They begin to understand symbols and the language system and successfully communicate with others. Concepts infants start learning during infancy, such as object permanence, spatial relationships, and cause and effect, mature and become more refined during toddlerhood. It will be many more years, however, before these concepts are fully mature. The major area of concept learning for toddlers are distinguishing attributes of objects, noting cause and effect, using spatial relationships, solving problems, understanding quantity, and using symbols. Language is the most abstract symbol system used by toddlers. To learn language, children use two thinking skills. First, they must associate the word with the person or object to which it refers, and second, children must recall the word and its meaning when they hear the word or want to say it. Toddlers use language to communicate. Spoken language develops at a faster rate between 1 and 3 years of age than at any other time in a person's life. Learning to talk takes time and effort. Toddlers learn language by learning to articulate and learning word meanings. Articulation refers to a person's ability to pronounce words that can be understood by others. Learning to control the tongue, lip muscles, and vocal cords to articulate the words of any language takes practice. Toddlers need experiences in hearing language. Toddlers first use single words before joining words to form sentences. Learning the meaning of words is difficult. To do so, children must link certain features with a name. Older toddlers learn meanings better if parents show or point to what is being talked about or taught. Still, learning meanings is difficult because many objects with different names share some common features. Communication is the skill needed to understand others and be understood by them. Already, toddlers can understand many words and sentences. When they begin to talk, they want to be understood. As children learn language, they develop both vocabulary and grammar. They attach meanings to words and to the order of words. This process, however, is gradual. The rate at which toddlers learn to talk can vary by several months. Many adults worry about a slow talker only to see the toddler become a non-stop talker a few months later. These toddlers are hearing sounds and learning meanings all along. When they begin to talk, they progress quickly. In some cases, the rate of language development may lag far behind the norms. In these situations, children need professional help. There are a number of conditions that could affect this, including hearing problems, interest in talking, intellectual abilities, gender, needs for speech, environment, bilingualism, and autism can all affect and cause delays in language development. Each child needs the best opportunity to develop language because language is essential to healthy intellectual and social emotional development. As toddlers explore and learn, they continue to achieve intellectual milestones. Pinpointing when a toddler learns a certain concept, however, becomes more difficult as the age of reaching milestones begins to vary among children. Because the exact timing of achievement varies, intellectual developmental milestones in toddlerhood are grouped by months. Being aware of these developmental milestones and tasks and age groups can help parents and caregivers create a stimulating environment for toddlers to help meet their intellectual needs. Toddlers learn through various play activities, such as motor activities, sensory stimulation activities, basic concept activities, symbolic learning activities, language activities, and electronic media activities. Adults can enrich toddlers' learning environment by providing helpful materials and planning appropriate activities for the toddler. Adults can use everyday activities to help meet toddlers' intellectual needs. For example, bathing and dressing provide the means for encouraging perceptual learning, good hygiene practices, and language and motor development. Helping with household tasks allows toddlers to develop spatial concepts as they put items in drawers or laundry in baskets. Vocabulary increases as toddlers learn the names of common objects found in the home and in the yard. Science becomes a part of everyday life as toddlers see how the vacuum cleaner picks up the dirt, how air dries clothes, and how heat makes dough change into cookies. During the toddler years, children develop both gross and fine motor skills quickly. Because toddlers are often on the go, they need few planned motor activities. As children run, climb, jump, and crawl, they are developing their gross motor skills. Any activity that requires the use of the small muscles help children develop their fine motor skills. Through the senses, toddlers can learn about the qualities of objects. Through sight, for example, toddlers can learn about an object's color and size. Touch teaches toddlers whether objects are rough, smooth, hard, or soft. Through listening, toddlers learn the sounds of language. Taste teaches about different flavors, such as sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. Scent lets toddlers recognize familiar aromas in foods. Using the senses helps toddlers form concepts about objects. When with toddlers, adults can name attributes of nearby objects, such as color and shape, names to help them learn. During the toddler years, many concept activities involve gross and fine motor skills. This is because toddlers, especially young toddlers, are still learning through physical trial and error. Therefore, toys for toddlers need to be simple to use. Toddlers about 12 to 18 months of age use toys in the ways that they are intended, such as using blocks for stacking and balls for throwing. Around 18 months, however, toddlers may engage in symbolic play. By 2 years of age, more extended pretend play begins, which leads to the rich imaginary play seen in the preschool classroom. The toddler's active world needs a background of language. Talking with a toddler during games and daily routines and describing the actions being performed can enhance the toddler's use of language and conceptual development. Reading books and singing songs can promote language learning, too. In today's world, children live in a media-rich environment. Companies specifically design television programs, videos, and interactive games for young children. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends parents of children younger than 18 months avoid using the use of screen media other than for video chatting. For children between 18 months and 3 years of age, the AAP recommend limiting screen limit to 1 hour of high-quality media per day. When choosing electronic media activities, consider the educational value of the materials and set restrictions for when and where screen time will take place. Now let's review what we've learned. During the toddler years, brain wiring is dense, making a toddler's brain ripe for learning. After the toddler years, the brain will begin pruning seldom used and unused connections. Toddlers develop mental imagery, which encourages pretend play. Piaget categorized toddler learning into 2 stages, substage 5 and substage 6. During substage 5, young toddlers learn using trial and error, and once they reach substage 6, older toddlers can think through actions. Teaching by scaffolding also begins in the toddler years. Vygotsky's theory shows how cultural differences affect scaffolding. Concepts that children start learning during infancy mature during toddlerhood. The major areas of concept learning for toddlers are distinguishing attributes, noting cause and effect, using spatial relationships, solving problems, understanding quantities, and using symbols. Toddlers use language by learning to articulate and learning word meanings. Toddlers need experiences in hearing language. Toddlers first use single words before joining words to form sentences. A number of conditions, including hearing problems, interest in talking, intellectual abilities, gender, need for speech, environment, bilingualism, and autism, can affect and cause delays in language development. Toddlers learn through various play activities, such as motor activities, sensory stimulation activities, basic concept activities, symbolic learning activities, language activities, and electronic media activities. Adults can enrich toddlers' learning environment by providing helpful materials and planning appropriate activities for the toddler. That wraps us up for this episode. You can learn more about this topic by reviewing the resources posted in your course. As always, if you have any questions, please contact your instructor. Thanks for joining me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about intellectual development of toddlers. See you next time.